it's been about 2 and a bit years now. And they need to confirm that. Then there's a selection meeting, and yeah, I need to be selected. But it should be selected, so it should be official. And then there'll be a team dance from Team GB, and we'll get loads of really cool stuff like the kitting out day and the media days. Although I'm not sure how they'll work with the current COVID situation here. Someone just said, hello from Malaysia, do you play women's singles? I do not play singles anymore. I played singles until I was about 18 or 19 years old. So when I was a junior, I played all 3 events. I thought singles was very beneficial for my fitness and my movement. And, you know, I carried on playing even though I was very clearly going to be a doubles player. But I think that was the right decision for me. I think it helped me a lot. So I played all 3, but now I can't play singles. I can't, it's too much court to cover. Have you been vaccinated, Lauren? I have had my first vaccine, so obviously you have 2 doses. I actually had the Oxford AstraZeneca one. I had no problems with it at all. I had it just before All England actually, so back in March. So I am due my second one any day now, but I'm waiting to hear from the GP about that one. So yes, I have had my vaccine, and hopefully you guys have also been able to get yours as well. How do you train in winter? It's so cold in Britain. It is cold in Britain. We have heaters in the hall is pretty much the solution that we have. Sometimes you do go in the morning, and no matter how much you warm up, you just can't really get warm, and you don't sweat that much because it's still very cold in the hall. But there's heaters in there. You can wear long sleeves tops and long trousers to keep warm. You just kind of get used to it. I think I find it harder in the winter when it's really cold, but in the summer sometimes it gets really hot, and we're not equipped with like air conditioning or anything like that because we are used to it being kind of colder. So it's very hard in the summer when it's, 30 degrees, which isn't very much. I know for a lot of you guys that is probably a cold day, but when it's 30 degrees and you're sweating everywhere, that's a tough day, I think. How do you feel about going to the Olympics with the COVID situation there? So I think, having been to quite a few events during the pandemic now, so since January I've been to a lot of different countries, experienced a lot of different levels of protocols and safety. You know, some places have been really, really strict, like Thailand, for example, you barely left your room, and it was so safe. There's really regular testing. And from what I've heard about Tokyo, we will be getting daily tests while we're out there. There'll be a lot of PCR tests. So the daily test will be the quick one, so you get the results in about 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Someone just, sorry, absolute distraction. Would you be interested in trying some brownies from Orkney? Of course, I'm always willing to try brownies. Sorry, back to the Team GB sort of representatives are very, very good at making sure they're on top of all this stuff. So I'm looking forward to playing. I think it'll be very, very different to Rio. You know, it's not going to feel quite as much like a games as normal because you're going to be very kept in your own sort of apartment and venue. But I think the fact that it is going ahead is absolutely wonderful. You know, I think it's a great thing for fans to be able to watch loads of different sports. You know, hopefully in a lot of places the cases will be a lot lower and people can come together and watch some different events. And, you know, I remember growing up and watching the Olympics, and it was such a cool experience for me to watch new sports and gather with friends and have like Olympic days together. And yeah, I think it'll be really good for everyone, given the sort of the past couple of years, which have been very, very hard. Okay, Noelle, any tips for me who've just started playing mixed, what to focus on in the beginning? Okay, so obviously from a female point of view in mixed, your focus is to get the net and get control of the net, and basically get the attack for your partner. So things to focus on is making good decisions of what shots you should and shouldn't get, because sometimes in mixed as a woman you feel like you should be doing more, you feel like you should be getting you know, every shot and cutting things out, or you're not doing enough. But actually sometimes by being very active around the net and moving into the spaces, you're making them hit away from you and hit to your partner, which means that you can be in a good position. And I moved to Milton Keynes to play full National Badminton Centre when I was about 19 or 20. So I've been here for about 9 years now, which is pretty crazy. It's absolutely flown by. But yeah, very long career, and hopefully quite a few more years left in me yet. What is your relationship with Marcus? Marcus and I live together. We are a couple. We're not married. We don't plan to get married. He is currently out at Aldi, which is a supermarket, getting the weekly food shop. So he thought he'd leave me to it. It also meant that he didn't have to deal with the foxpoo situation with Luna when we got back home. So we've been together a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years I think, and we've lived in this house for about a year, which is the first house I bought, which is you know, makes me very proud of it. We've done a lot of renovations on it. Somebody says, do you enjoy playing mixed more or women's doubles more? And also the person that says, will you retire after Olympics? I absolutely will not. I've got a few more years left in me. So yeah, I kind of prefer whichever one I'm playing better in, which is usually neither of them. I don't think I can choose between. You know, I think mixed is a very sort of tactical game. If you feel good on a mixed court, especially as a woman, you'll feel amazing. You'll just kind of feel unbeatable and so confident, and you'll be flying high. Whereas if you're not feeling good on a mixed court, it is a really, really horrible place to be. However, on a women's court, I feel like if you're not playing your best, if you don't feel amazing, you can play yourself into it a little bit easier. But I mean, that's not to say I prefer one over the other at all. I actually think both games I really, really love. I'm a competitor through and through, so I want to win no matter what. And yeah, I certainly don't have a preference between the two. Oh, hello from Bangkok. I got to stay in the bubble at the 3 tournaments and I cheered for you. Oh, hello, Jenu. So yeah, in Bangkok, so Thailand, we were in Bangkok in January. We played 3 tournaments there, and it was a big bubble of people. So, you know, we were regularly tested. We didn't really leave the hotel. We had a lot of the meals and all of the meals in our rooms, which was a very tough experience. But, you know, a good experience. You know, since then, some tournaments that we've played have been a little bit more relaxed. Some tournaments we've played have been equally as strict, but it just kind of varies country to country and depending on the organisation a little bit. But I felt very safe everywhere I've gone, which is a credit to the organisation. Oh, sorry, hang on, I just saw one then. Oh, how many hours a day do you train? So it varies day to day. At the minute, actually, we are in a physical block. So we've got 9 weeks, well, we've got 8 weeks now until the Olympics. So we have different stages of training. So this stage is about the physical side, so getting strong in the gym, strong on our sort of running and bikes, and kind of building up a bit of volume so that as we get close to the games, we can lift the intensity and bring the volume down, but still have that kind of endurance work completed. So a normal week would be Monday to Friday, we're on court twice a day. So it's usually about 1.5 hours to 2 hours in the morning, and then 1 hour to 1.5 hours in the afternoon. So what's that? That's 3 hours a day on court. And then we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we lift weights in the gym. So that's usually about 45 minutes to an hour. And Tuesday and Thursday we do physicals, so whether that's running, multi-feed, a bike, it varies in length quite a lot. Also through the week, you know, before the court sessions, there's about half an hour, 45 minutes where you do, you know, a lot of preparation things. So you can do some core work, some shoulder work, some prehab, all of those sort of things. And after the session, you know, there may be some jumps or some abs or things like that. So yes, a lot of hours in a week, but it varies quite a lot. When you retire from badminton, do you plan to train young players? I definitely consider it. I think, you know, I do believe I've got something to give back to the sport as a coach. You know, I think as a player, I've grown in my understanding of the game as I've got older. When I was younger, I would never thought I could possibly be a coach, because I didn't think I had much understanding of the game, but I do think that has changed. And I think in England especially, there does need to be more female coaches and female role models out there to get more girls playing, and to get more guys playing. You know, we just want as many keen players as possible. And you do have to start coaching at a young age to kind of encourage them to get through to the top level. I'm not sure I'd be able to be a top level coach and still travel. I think my travelling to tournament days might be finished. But yeah, we'll see. It depends what opportunities arise when I come to the end of my career, which is hopefully a long way down the line. Somebody said, "Hi, I'm planning to join University of Loughborough. How tough is it to get in the badminton team?" Now, I actually didn't go to Loughborough University. I went to Leeds Metropolitan, which was another very strong badminton university. When I did consider Loughborough. I know the badminton team is very good, but they've got lots of different teams, and they've got a great coaching setup there. Really good coaches, really good group of players. So if you train hard enough, I'm sure there will be a team at Loughborough for you, and good luck with university. I studied sports coaching and trained full time, so I found it very hard, but it was a very, very cool experience. A lot of people have asked how to improve a backhand. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to explain that on a live chat. I think grip is very important. I think a lot of people, well, there's lots of different parts of the court you can hit a backhand in, so it's very hard to say, but I think there's a lot of good resources on sort of YouTube and stuff like that, with a few more tutorials for backhands. Unfortunately, I can't really help without seeing it. I'd say grip's a very important thing, and using just relaxed technique on it. Some people are quite tense and quite jabby on a backhand, so it should be quite flowing. Did the absence of fans in the arena have any impact upon your performance, or you feel more comfortable playing? It's a really interesting question, because I am missing the fans and missing the crowds so much. I didn't expect it to impact me like it has, but I think as a player that likes to get very pumped up and very, very adrenaline driven as a player, a quiet arena has been really, really weird. I think when you're a little bit down, you're a few points down in an arena that's full of atmosphere, and it's almost easier to pick yourself up, but in an arena, especially a really big one. So a good example is the All England. You know, the 2020 All England had a brilliant crowd. They were so loud. We had a really great time. And the 2021 was it's a really big arena, and there was just so many empty seats, and there was very little crowd noise. And I just found it very difficult to kind of get myself as up for games as I normally would. I would like to see if it's going to carry on without crowds. I would love them to put a bit of crowd noise in. They actually had some crowd in Ukraine at the European Championships, and I thought it was really, really nice. I actually noticed it a lot more. But yeah, if there's not going to be crowds, it would be cool if BWF could consider a bit of, they've been doing it with football. They've just been playing crowd noise just to kind of create a little bit of something in the arena. I think it's also good for the people watching, because it does look a little bit like a training match when there's no sound apart from the shuttle being hit. What was that your picture BWF posted? I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. I'm assuming this is the one that was with the lightsabers, which was actually created by a really cool badminton photographics page. I think I tagged them when I shared it, so it's like bad.gxp. I've probably done that wrong. But if you check out the page, the photo I posted, it has the link to the people that created it. They're doing loads of amazing badminton graphics. I shared one before All England, and a few others as well that they have done. But yeah, badminton's never quite looked as cool as they've made it look. It's an action photography photo as well. How are you keeping your immunity strong? So a big one for me with immunity is sleep. So I aim to get at least 8 hours sleep a night, pretty much. We get up at about 6 or 6:30 every morning, so we go up to bed at about 9 o'clock and are asleep by 10 usually. So, you know, it's a really important thing. I always notice it a lot when I don't get enough sleep. I feel very run down, very lethargic. I feel like I'm starting to get ill quite quickly. So yeah, sleep is a big one. Nutrition is also a very big one. So we try to eat, Marcus and I try to eat loads of fruit and vegetables. When we have our meal in the evening, we want lots and different fruit and veg on our plates. And, you know, they say that you should eat 5 different fruits and vegetables a day. We probably average about 7. You know, have an orange in the evening and stuff like that. So I think sleep and nutrition for me are the biggest things for my sort of health and immunity. Obviously, dealing with stress is quite a big one, but I'd say I'm quite lucky. Not too many stressful situations. The main stressor for me is probably just being at a tournament and, you know, the highs and lows of playing, but that's more of a sports stress than a life stress. So yeah, it doesn't seem to affect my immunity too much. Fingers crossed anyway. What do you think about Indonesian badminton fans? I think they are incredible. So I was actually just speaking to somebody that lives locally and does Indonesian and Asian food. So Cindy's Kitchen, they are based in Milton Keynes. I was speaking to them yesterday about Indonesia and Jakarta and saying how much I miss it. So I was supposed to go, I think last time I was there was January 2020, before this all kind of happened. And I'm due to come back at the end of this year. I think there is a tournament in the calendar in Indonesia. And the fans are just incredible. They are so loud. And, you know, when I talk about this missing the atmosphere in the arena, the atmosphere in Astora is the best example I can think of amazing arenas. The fans are just great. And, you know, I'm really keen to come back and see you all. I had a lot of requests to come to Orkney and coach from a few of you. I would love to do that. Obviously, I'm not going to have time before the games, but in the future, I would love to come and coach you guys. I've never been to Orkney before, so it'd be a lovely experience for me. Are you watching any TV series currently? Which is your all-time favourite? So what are we watching at the minute? A series called Unforgotten, which is a crime one. We're watching Derry Girls, which is hilarious, but if you're not very good at understanding English, you will struggle with their accents because it's based in Northern Ireland. Schitt's Creek, which is an American programme, also very funny, and we're watching the last season of Empire, which is kind of a musical series. It's about a music empire, I guess. So that's really cool. My favourite series of all time, Friends has got to be up there. I could watch that every day and still absolutely love it. And 24 is probably my other favourite series. But I've watched some really cool series recently. You know, I used to be more of a film person, but especially since lockdown, I've got very into Netflix, which is probably not the best use of my time. What is the biggest fear through your career as a professional badminton player? Well, it's a very interesting question. I mean, obviously injury is a huge one. You know, I would, touch wood, I've been very lucky with how I've kept my body very robust. You know, I've worked hard over the years to prevent any major injuries. And I would hate to have to finish my career because of an injury. You know, I want to kind of be able to do it on my terms and when I feel ready to stop. So I'd say, you know, that's a huge fear. You know, I think I could fear that when I retire, I feel like I haven't achieved everything I want.